And you can start.
Okay, so I'm Brianna. My topic is feeding families on a budget. So my target audience is just families in general, kind of geared more towards low income that actually have to focus more on a budget than the average person. So today you're going to learn about my plate and kind of the guidelines for it, the different food groups, how to plan a low-cost meal, tips for each food group when it comes to buying, the different programs they have for assistance, if you need that, a couple of recipe sites, and then there'll be a quiz at the end. So first, my plate, it's a new version of the food pyramid. It shows you the 5 food groups and how much you should have on your plate for each food group. So their kind of guidelines are vary your veggies, focus on fruits, make at least half your grains whole grains, go lean with protein, and get calcium-rich foods. So for veggies, depending on the age, you're looking at 1 to 3 cups, so obviously the younger ones aren't going to have as much. Fruits is 1 to 2 cups. Grains is going to be 1.5 to 4 ounces. Lean protein, you're looking at 2 to 6 ounces. And for calcium-rich foods, 2 to 3 cups. So that includes milk, cheese, yogurt, all of those. So first we're going to talk about varying your veggies. So with vegetables, vitamin C is a big vitamin in there that will help you fight off infections. It also has folate. Fiber helps with your digestion and your appetite, so it keeps you fuller longer. And studies have shown with more vegetables and fruits, there have been lower risks of some cancers. So the lowest cost vegetable there is potatoes. And you can use it in the main dish, you can use it as a side. So some options would be baked potatoes, homemade fries, and mashed potatoes. Next is focus on fruits. So they're low calorie, but they have high fiber, so it'll help you with the digestion and your appetite again. Vitamin C, E, and the phytochemicals in there help reduce like cardiovascular diseases and whatnot. Potassium and magnesium are going to help lower blood pressure. So you won't have, if you have hypertension, that's a very good option for you to help lower that. The lowest cost fruits, there's not a specific one in mind. Just pick in-season fruits. So when you're in a season like winter, where there's not a whole lot in season, you're going to look at frozen fruits and canned fruits more than your fresh fruits. Make at least half of your grains whole grains. So with whole grains, you get fiber, which I've mentioned with a couple of the other ones, so the digestion and appetite is helped with that. And it is packed with other vitamins and minerals just that help your body function. The lowest cost whole grain would be brown rice. It's only 10 cents per serving. So it's a very good option if you're on a very tight budget. One of the most popular things I've found with rice is rice bowls. You start with rice and you can put any sort of vegetables in there and then add the lean protein on top. So with lean protein, you're going to be looking at fish and chicken, turkey, eggs, all of that. Red meat is going to have a little bit more fat in it, so you want to avoid that. You can still have it every once in a while, but it's going to be a little bit more expensive and a little bit fattier. So when you go with the lean meats, you have a reduction of cancer and heart problems overall. The lowest cost protein is going to be eggs. They're 15 cents for 1 egg. So you can either add them into the meal or you can just do plain eggs, so scrambled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, fried eggs, all of those options. And the last part of my plate is get your calcium-rich food. So calcium helps build strong bones and teeth. And then it also has vitamins and minerals to help with body maintenance. So it has A, D, and then some of the B vitamins in there as well. With calcium-rich foods, there's not a really guideline for which ones are going to be the least expensive. You just want to check the unit prices that will be listed in the grocery store to kind of see what your best deal would be. So there's 4 steps in how to plan a low-cost meal. So first you want to plan a budget, then plan the meals you want, make a list of the foods you need, and then shop. So step 1 with a budget, you want to determine the number of meals you're going to need for whatever period of time. So first you need to determine your other expenses that you have to pay. So you can do an expense report or an expense calendar to kind of see where your money's going, and then determine how much you have for food. When you are budgeting, you do want to consider cutting out the unnecessary snacks because you can buy them in bulk instead. So the veggie straws we have in the vending machine here, they're $1 for a small bag. If you purchase them at Costco, you get 30 for $10. So if I were to purchase 30 of them here, it'd be 3 times the cost. So that's a built-in money saver right there. Next is planning the meals. So you want to look at sales flyers and the coupons that are out as you're planning your meals, because then you can figure out what discounts you can get off the bat. So when you plan your meals, you want to plan for a week or your whole pay period if possible, because then you knock it out in one swoop. You don't have to worry about it through the next 2 weeks. So include a variety of foods and vary your proteins. You don't want to have meat and potatoes every day. You're going to get very bored with that. So try to vary it throughout the week. And if you kind of overlap some ingredients, so you can buy them in bulk a little bit more. So if you're going to be doing a lot of egg meals, try to do as many as you can without making it super redundant. And then the last thing you want to consider is snacks. They are important, but you want to focus mostly on the meals. Because if you eat filling meals, you won't need to snack as much. When you make a list, you want to assess the current foods you already have in your home, and then make a list of the necessary ingredients that you don't have. One tip that I have noticed works really well for me is when I'm making a list, if I put my coupons on there and the discounted prices I saw, it helps me remember pricing. So if I go there and can't find it, I can ask them for that specific item. And then adjust your menu if you need to at this point. And lastly, you're going to shop. So only buy items on your list. Do not buy junk food. If you buy junk food, you're opening the door for your family to eat that over the healthy options that you get. So if you don't have it in your house, it's not an option for them. You can also shop with a friend, because then you can buy in bulk a little bit more if you don't have as big of a family. Check for the store brands. So a way to do this is to look up and down for savings. At eye level, it's usually going to be the most expensive item. So if you look up a little bit higher, down a little bit lower, you're going to find those discounts a little bit more. If they don't have the item in stock, ask for a rain check so you can still get that product. Otherwise, see if they have substitutions, because then you're still getting that good deal on it. And then if they have a loyalty program, see if you can join it, because you get discounts one way or another. With Cub, if you spend $50, you get 5 cents off of gas. So it's a good deal that will save you some money, maybe not at that specific store, but with gas. For each food group, there's a couple different recommendations I found. So fruits and vegetables, buy them in all forms, so fresh, frozen, and canned. One thing with canned is make sure it's not in a bunch of syrup. But if you can't get fresh fruits because of the season, the frozen and the canned ones tend to be packaged at their peak time, so you get more nutrients out of those. With the grains, look for store brands, and you can make them in bulk. So if you're making multiple rice dishes, you can make it all at once and then just store the rice in the fridge until you need it for the next meal. With protein, meat is going to be your biggest spending on your receipt, so look in the flyers for lower prices on meats if possible, and then stock up on the meats when you can if you have the freezer space. For dairy, you're going to want to look for low-fat or fat-free options, and always check the unit prices to see if the block of cheese is the same as the shredded cheese, which one will be a better deal for you. And then if you are switching towards the whole grains or the lower fat milk, do it slowly. If you jump from whole milk all the way down to skim milk, you are not going to like the taste. But if you slowly transition down to 2% and 1%, you'll do a little bit better with that. And then one of the last things I want to talk about is government assistance. If you cannot afford food just because of what you make, there are options. So there's WIC for women, infants, and children under the age of 5. There are vouchers for specific foods in each food group. So it gives you a little bit of a variety, but you're still getting those healthy options. And it's given based on housing, income, and nutritional risk. SNAP is going to be the new version of food stamps. So it's for people who can't afford food in general. So the money's put on a prepaid card, and then it's used for food items later on. One problem with it is they don't have any restrictions on what you can buy, so you can buy all junk food if you want. So that's when you have to hold yourself accountable and actually choose those better options. And that is also given based on the housing, income, and nutritional risk of the person. And the last thing they have is food shelves. They're another option you can use. It's more of emergency type basis compared to SNAP and WIC. So it's going to be nonprofit organizations that run off mostly donations. So only go if you really need it, because it's going to be kind of an emergency situation, and if you just take it because you feel like it, you could be taking from someone who really does need it. And then there are a bunch of recipe sites. I didn't really include any in the PowerPoint, but there's some sites that give you the specific dollar amount for each serving of food, so you kind of know how much you're spending each meal. And then I have a quiz for you guys, and then when you're done, we'll go through and find the right answers, and then we will get candy. Is everybody almost done? I will take that as a yes. So number one, which vegetable is the lowest cost that was listed? Yes. Which grain was the lowest cost? Yeah. Which protein is lowest in cost? Yeah. Fruit helps reduce these problems except for? Yep, diabetes. Because it has fiber, so it helps regulate you. Yep. Which food group does not provide fiber? Dairy. Yep. When planning a low-cost meal, which step comes first? Yep. What is not a part of planning meals? Yep. You should always quickly introduce new, healthier foods to your family. Yep. And then which food assistance program runs off primarily donations? Exactly. I will get the candy for you guys. Yay.